worked in a greater scale. Following this, in 1997, Bangladesh introduced a radically new CLT approach without much planning, removing the long-standing grammar translation method. But again, this new initiative have not changed the picture either for a number of reasons. Uh,
Is everything all right?
yes, everything all right. Teachers lack of oh, sorry. Teachers' lack of preparation or training, as well as inadequate logistics support in Bangladesh, uh, schools and colleges seem to be responsible for this. The majority of teachers' uncertainty about how to apply CLT has created a significant gap between teachers and students in the classroom. Many teachers who were taught using the previous grammar translation method by their teachers have struggled with the new CLT approach. CLT emphasizes on communicative competence of the learners, focusing on core skills, whereas the testing system excludes listening and speaking from their examination. Meanwhile, the large number of students in a classroom without technical aids has exacerbated the problem. Owing to the teachers' unfamiliarity with such technology, only a few institutions that receive audiovisual assistance are able to use it. Students who have been through this flawed procedure are strangers in their university classes, where the language of instruction is exclusively English. Likewise, university professors feel helpless in their attempts to ensure that students comprehend their lectures effectively, and the gap widens. In this situation, teachers, students, and researchers in the field are voicing their dissatisfaction with this new approach. Through journal, articles, seminars, conferences, and newspapers, they restlessly recommend for overcoming the infrastructure, bridging the gap between urban and rural education system, and improving the quality of life for trained teachers. Hence, the curriculum reform seems to be only priority for the policymakers. In 2012, the English curriculum was updated again. This constant shift demonstrates the stakeholders' lack of trust in themselves. As a result, this lack of trust has had a devastating effect on the entire English education system in Bangladesh. Thus, over the years, English teaching learning in Bangladesh caught on a cusp of both expansion and uh, confusion. So this is actually my topic, that I already mentioned, like English teaching learning in Bangladesh caught on a cusp of both expansion and confusion. The standard for English education in Bangladesh is significantly lower than that of its South Asian neighbors. We are still trying to figure out whether English is EFL or an ESL language. We have been suffering from the historical and socio-cultural context of English in our teaching learning framework, in addition to numerous shortcomings of proper implementations of English language learning. Bangladeshis have been subjected to colonialism twice, once by the British and then by the Pakistanis. Common people have contempt for all colonizers as a result of their past memories of colonization. The history of the language movement in 1952, which is one of the main reasons for the dislike to other languages, to maintain their dominance throughout the British Raj promoted their own educational system. However, after the partition in 1947, the West Pakistani rulers were primarily concerned with exploitation of East Pakistan economy in the name of religion, as well as silencing Bengali, then the East Pakistani people's voices. When they attempted to create Urdu as the national language in a Bengali majority country, the situation deteriorated, resulting in a revolution and the creation of Bangladesh eventually, a new country for Bengali speaking people. We should remember that is on Bengali speaking people. In 1952, the language movement became a highly emotional subject that enshrined language as a sacred object in the hearts of the general public in Bangladesh. Series of poems, fictions, articles, songs, and films presented this emotion. This has evolved into a social and cultural topic in which the general public enthusiastically and proudly participate. This is on picture of the language movement that occurred in Bangladesh in 1952, 21st February. Thousands of people from all walks of life have taken to the streets to condemn the government decision, then Pakistani, West Pakistani like government. Many people were killed when police opened fire on the rally. We can find the school kids before that is the martyr monument here, which is called Shohid Minar in our Bangla language. And you can see the central, that is national monument, Shohid Minar in Dhaka. Thousands of people, they gathered over there to pay homage to the language martyrs. And this is also happening across the country. So like from language movement to the freedom, this socio-cultural movement helped the political movement and eventually emerged as nationalism and created Bangladesh as a sovereign state in 1971. And you can see that is Bangladesh, Bangla, the Bengali language, and Desh, the country. In this way, the country was created and named according to Bengali language. And this language possesses a very emotional space in the hearts of the entire people of Bangladesh. Every year, the country observes this day in a befitting manner, showing utmost respect to the language martyrs. It is observed as the National Mourning Day as well. In 1999, UNESCO recognized 21st February as the International Mother Language Day. And nowadays, that is the entire world is actually celebrating or observing this day. In this historical context, ordinary people have shown denial to the use of other languages, where English and Urdu are at the top of the list. Though there are few national and international language institutes, the culture of Bangladesh does not encourage people to learn foreign languages, which is quite peculiar. Thus, Bangladesh is a monolingual country with some exceptions of rich people and the people living in major big cities. This is two other pictures of the Shohid Minar or the language martyrs monument. You can see the flowers, that is the people, they paid homage to these language martyrs. Historical and cultural background or the impact of the history. The colonial history of Bangladesh as well, the major historical events are intertwined with the political decisions that prevented English from progressing in the context. Many who speak English in public places, such as the tea shop or a bus stop, are ridiculed by rural people in the region. People still write, perform, and enjoy a large number of popular folk songs and traditional dramas based on those historical events in 1952 in public and private celebration, reminding the nation of its own identity and contributing to English's non-progress status. Surprisingly, there is a widespread dislike of English due to historical reasons. One of the key reasons for English language's weakness is general apathy. This general apathy is one of the main reasons for the weakness of English language in Bangladesh. So, on the one hand, a lack of English language skills, and on the other hand, the difficulty of passing the exam has developed a fear toward English, but an honor for the competence as well. Regardless of the standard of English education, being able to communicate in English is a valuable ability in securing a job in Bangladesh. The above mentioned reasons create a complex situation in English education in Bangladesh. In terms of identity, it seems that policymakers are still unsure how to strike a balance between preserving a national cultural identity and promoting English learning with or without its global culture. They understand the significance of the historical context on the one hand, but they couldn't ignore the growing need for English learning on the other. Thus, the situation is caught on a cusp of both expansion and confusion. The status of English in Bangladesh, the curriculum in Bangladesh, like most other Asian countries, is established centrally and is only understood by teachers and students as a collection of books to be followed during the year and culminating in a terminal examination. Here, English is regarded as a subject only, albeit the most difficult as the thing. The most teachers go to great lengths to ensure that students somehow pass their examinations. The students, guardians, and even the people around share this same sentiment. This is akin to winning one of the most difficult fights or beating a formidable foe, the British colonizer. When the concerned authorities changed the English education curriculum prior to a critical analysis of such psyche of the people that required study and proper preparation, the situation worsened rather than improved. In 1998, CLT was introduced in Bangladesh by English Language Teaching Improvement Project, a foreign-aided teacher development project jointly launched with the Teachers Training Institutes and jointly funded by Bangladeshi and British governments, with 7 British consultants working with about 50 local trainers and support staff. Following the implementation of CLT and ELTIP, gave a brief CLT training period to a selected group of secondary school teachers and stopped when the fund ran out. CLT appeared in a period when more people than ever before are crossing international borders for work that had immediate functional language needs. This might have been a driving factor for policy reformers to introduce CLT in Bangladeshi context, as a considerable number of people had been taking overseas jobs, mainly in the Middle East and in some Asian countries. The considerable establishment of garments industries might also convince them to introduce CLT that designed to improve communicative competence of the learners. However, the introduction briefly gives some idea of the ineffectiveness of CLT in Bangladesh in my deliberation. This is the preface that is given on the textbook of Standard 9 or in Bangladeshi school curriculum. You can see the aim of secondary education is to make the learners fit for entry into higher education by flourishing their latent talents and prospects with a view to building the nation with the spirit of language movement and liberation war that I have already mentioned. That is the impact of language movement and liberation war is also shown in this written document. Next, you can find the other part of this preface. In the era of globalization, English is one of the most powerful tools for pursuing higher studies using technology, intercultural and interpersonal communications, and job markets at home and abroad. The curriculum makes it explicit that language learning will be graded and contents will reflect real life situation, which is one of the basic components of CLT, as the ultimate purpose of language learning is to communicate. The English for Today textbooks have been developed to help students again attain competency in all 4 language skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Unfortunately, as I have mentioned earlier, that is our language, that is our education or the examination system does not reflect this introduction here. That is 2 skills, basic skills like listening and speaking, they are actually ignored. Impacts of this in English learning, you can see, in addition to inequality in terms of access to education and its facilities for all citizens, Bangladesh has a variety of education system, such as English medium, national curriculum, which is also divided into Bengali and English versions. There is also religion-based Martyrs education. A large part of the national curriculum is again run through private schools and colleges. Regarding facilities, there is a big gap between public and private schools, teachers and their students. Last but not the least, the entire education system in rural areas lags far behind that in urban areas. The poor facilities of the teachers cannot attract skilled or motivated teachers in schools, especially in rural non-government schools. Certainly, this inequality has a negative impact on the entire education system, but apparently it is a major obstacle in the case of learning a foreign language like English, as other subjects are taught in the mother tongue Bengali. CLT alone is not responsible for this bleak picture of the status of English teaching learning in Bangladesh. Rather, the wrong approach to English learning is responsible. Wrong approach in all respects. Considering English or any other language as the just another subject to pass or to get better grade in the examination is the enemy to learn English. Lack of exposure to English inside and outside classroom or schools is the other reason to me. So I have discussed the complex issues and attitudes of the learners and people as a whole toward English. The fear factor and the undue respect to a language both make learning difficult. So the solution, exposure to English of the learners, teachers, and even guardians could ease breaking this shackle. So how that is the exposure to English of the learners, teachers, and even guardians could ease breaking this shackle. I have I will give 3 examples from my own experience from my home. I got 2 daughters, and both of them are studying in pure Bengali medium. My second daughter, that is, she is studying now in class 4, and you will see that is only studying in Bangla, pure Bangla medium school, but how she can communicate in English. And one thing that I should make you remember, like being an English teacher, I don't actually bother about their English learning. And I don't tell my daughters to speak in English or anything like that. Whatever they did, actually, they did everything from their own. So probably it's not working. So let me.
I'm so bad with marshmallows. I just love to eat marshmallows. I don't know why. It's super tasty. I gotta add cinnamon too, though. Cinnamon should know it because she's a man. You know what everyone say it is, but I don't know what it is. Let it go. So I'm thinking that if I ask cinnamon, then she should know. That's good. Oh, hey, Cinnamon. Oh, who's it? Oh, Toppers. Hi, Toppers. Hey, do you know where's the marshmallow? I'm just so obsessed with it. I want to eat the marshmallow so bad. I'm so hungry with eating marshmallows. I don't know why. I don't know. I just ran out of marshmallow today. All the customers took it from me. Oh no, how could it be? I mean, yeah, it's so sad. But you like marshmallows? Yeah. When did you start to love marshmallows? You hate them. I'm gonna tell you the whole story later, I guess. Okay, but you need to eat marshmallow right now? Yeah, doctor told me to eat marshmallow so much that I'm gonna be perfectly fine if my cat. Oh, that's so nice, but your eyes, don't you remember that? I do, but your candy, I just wanna eat marshmallow so much. I haven't eaten marshmallow a lot of years. Cheers! That's so sad. You should get marshmallow. Okay, I'm gonna save you to get marshmallow really quick and really fast. Just get ready to get marshmallows. Time to I just can't fight. I can't fight with RX, but not with KF. Yeah, I guess so. Let's go. Wait for me. Wow, it's so fun. I'm just flying flying in the sky. It's nice. I just haven't used this power a lot of time. And now we're talking. We have to fight Marshmallow. Why don't you say taking it so serious? Because you've never liked Marshmallow before, so you gotta like it. Let's do. Okay, I guess. Here we go. Cinnamon, where are you? I'm coming.
All right, so that was actually made by my daughter, and actually I didn't tell her to prepare this. They do, both of the sisters, they do actually regular basis. They create a lots of fun with this kind of video or drawing, and they make their own videos, and I took just one. Uh, my intention to present this for you, like this exposure to English is essential. Exposure. Somehow we have to create this kind of exposure. And we should not bother about which approach in learning English we are following. It might be grammar translation method, it might be CLT approach, or it might be a kind of mix of both of the things, or it can be anything like that. But exposure to English is essential. So how can these people, that my daughter, they got this kind of exposure? We can see watching English cartoons on TV, watching English cartoons on YouTube, watching slime videos on YouTube, gotcha memes on YouTube, Among Us games, Lanky Box, Cookies Swirl, see like Casey and Russell, etc. And there are many other things that they used to watch like in daily basis, like for 1 and 2 hours. And this is the only thing that they actually did. So my recommendation is that is English has become challenging these days because the technological advancement, call, mall, YouTube, and other internet-based teaching platform offer innumerable options and opportunities for the learners. There is a need to establish digital classrooms across the country. Conducting various activities related to English is required to overcome the established fear towards English. Debate, extempore speech, drama, shows, etc. can help teachers, learners, providing exposure to English that eventually create an English environment inside and outside classrooms. English club, language club, etc. can be established inside and outside schools as well. Let me tell you a few more things on this. Like, if with this existing environment we can create these things, immediately we can create such things in every schools, in every locality, English club, etc., etc. If we understand the benefit of English in these days. So the last point for me, that is the place of English that of today's workshop or today's presentation, whether we realize it or not. We realize it because the increasing English gives us the kind of benefit to increasing employability, facilitating international mobility through migration, tourism, studying abroad, key for unlocking development opportunities and accessing crucial information. English is an impartial language in context where other available language would be unacceptable. So use of English in Bangladesh. Nowadays, most sectors in Bangladesh require some degree of English. Banking, IT sectors demanding the most English speakers. 24% of companies require a basic level of English. 38% require an intermediate level of English. 38% require a good level of English. Graduates in Bangladesh with higher levels of English proficiency generally find jobs faster in private companies. So that is from my own experience and also for my observation and also the experience of my own home. What I can, let is considering all these issues and needs, time has come to take a realistic approach to solve the problems in teaching, learning English. With the existing facilities, the English-based Co-curricular activities can be implemented immediately in all schools and colleges. The English exposure would certainly improve the speaking, listening, and presentation skills of the students that eventually give confidence to improve other skills. If this confidence the student can achieve or acquire, the other two skills will be achieved, I think, automatically, because the confidence is important. And thank you very much for listening and for your patience for my long presentation or anything that you can call it. Thank you very much.